Welcome to the Courtroom Club.
Today, we're talking about something absolutely fundamental to doing business here in South Africa,
Yeah.
commercial law.
Yes, and as part of the team here at Jonker Vorster Attorneys, well, this is territory we navigate every single day.
Absolutely. We've actually put together a pretty thorough guide on South African commercial law, drawing on our collective experience.
And today we really wanted to unpack some of the key takeaways from that guide with you.
Our aim is pretty straightforward, really.
Hmm.
We want to give you a clear picture of what commercial law entails.
And why it's just so vital for any business operating here. It doesn't matter if you're a small startup or, a large established corporation.
It applies across the board.
Okay, so maybe let's just dive right in. At its heart, what is commercial law?
Well, think of it as the essential framework, the rule book, if you like, that governs all business activities.
Right. Trade, transactions, all those relationships that keep the economy moving.
Exactly. It aims to ensure legal compliance and hopefully fairness in how business gets done.
And it touches on so many different aspects, doesn't it? It's not just one single thing.
Oh, definitely not. Our guide breaks it down into several key areas, and each one is pretty critical for a business to operate securely and legally.
So, where should we start? Contracts seem like a pretty fundamental place.
Absolutely. Contract law. I mean, every single business relies on agreements.
With partners, suppliers, customers, landlords,
Yeah,
the list goes on.
precisely. And contract law is what gives those agreements teeth, makes them legally enforceable.
So, it clearly lays out who does what, who's responsible for what.
Yes, defines those rights and responsibilities.
Yeah.
And that's huge for, preventing disputes later on.
Because everyone knows where they stand, ideally.
Exactly, a clear roadmap. At Jonker Vorster Attorneys, a big part of what we do is helping clients draft those contracts carefully.
And review ones they receive. Getting it right from the beginning saves a lot of potential trouble.
Definitely. Then moving on, there's corporate governance.
Okay, corporate governance sounds a bit high level.
It can sound that way, but it's really about the practical stuff. Regulatory compliance, the duties directors have, shareholder rights.
So the internal rulebook for the company itself.
That's a good way to put it. It helps businesses maintain ethical standards and, crucially, legal transparency.
And that transparency builds trust, doesn't it? Both inside and outside the company.
Invaluable. Absolutely invaluable for long-term success. We spent a lot of time advising businesses on setting up governance structures that actually work for them.
Right, tailored advice. Okay, what about something more dynamic, like mergers and acquisitions? M&A.
Ah, yes, M&A. Very dynamic. This is key when businesses want to expand by, say, joining forces or buying another company's assets.
And that's a complex process, I imagine.
Oh, very. It involves several stages. There's due diligence that deep dive into the other company's affairs,
Checking everything out properly.
then drafting complex agreements, making sure all the regulatory boxes are ticked.
So lots of legal hurdles to clear.
There can be.
Hmm.
And that's where we come in, guiding clients through each step, making sure it's legally sound and makes good business sense.
Makes sense. Now, you mentioned assets. What about those assets you can't necessarily touch? Intellectual property.
Yes, IP.
Hmm.
Hugely important, especially today. We're talking about things like inventions, brand names, trademarks, unique designs.
The things that make a business unique give it its edge.
Precisely. These intangible assets can be incredibly valuable. IP law provides the tools to protect them.
So stopping others from just copying your ideas.
Exactly. And also opening doors to things like licensing, potentially creating new income streams.
So what kind of help do you provide there?
We assist clients with securing patents for inventions, registering their trademarks, getting copyright protection for creative works. It's fundamental to guarding that competitive advantage.
Okay. And linked to competition, there's competition law itself, right?
Yes, competition law. Its main goal is to foster a fair marketplace.
So preventing monopolies or practices that might harm consumers or stifle other businesses?
That's the idea. It regulates things like mergers and acquisitions, business strategies, just to ensure no one gains an unfair, detrimental advantage.
Keeps the playing field somewhat
A
level.
level playing field, exactly,
Right.
which ultimately benefits everyone. And speaking of benefiting people, there's consumer protection.
Right, the Consumer Protection Act, the CPA.
Yes, the CPA. It sets clear standards businesses must follow to protect their customers.
Like what?
Well, it covers things like remedies for defective products or rules against misleading advertising. It ensures businesses act responsibly towards their customers.
Which is crucial for reputation, too, I'd imagine.
Absolutely. Now, even with the best planning, Disputes can happen.
Unfortunately, yes. Business disagreements.
That's where commercial litigation comes in, resolving those business conflicts through the court system.
What kind of conflict?
Could be anything, really. Shareholder disagreements, maybe allegations that a director breached their duty, or simple contract disputes,
So when things go wrong, basically.
essentially.
Hmm.
And our role at Jonker Vorster Attorneys is to represent our clients in those situations, protect their interests, and find the best possible resolution.
Okay. And one last area, maybe slightly different, but underpinning everything, tax law.
Ah, yes, tax law,
Oh.
absolutely integral. How you structure your company, the transactions you do, it's all heavily influenced by tax regulations.
Which can be incredibly complex.
Extremely. Getting expert guidance here is, well, essential. It's not just about compliance, meeting your obligations.
But also about structuring things smartly.
Exactly. Minimizing liabilities within the legal framework.
Right.
We provide that guidance to help clients navigate this often tricky area.
Wow. Okay. So that covers a lot of ground. When you pull it all together, why is understanding all this so critical for business success here in South Africa?
Well, it really comes down to a few core things. First, it's about protecting your interests.
Your contracts, your IP rights.
Exactly. Those legally sound agreements act like a shield for everything you've built. They bring transparency, enforceability, fairness,
Makes sense. And second,
risk mitigation. Proactive risk mitigation. Understanding the rules helps you spot potential problems before they blow up.
so avoiding lawsuits or penalties.
Precisely. Good legal advice early on reduces your exposure significantly, saves money, saves reputation.
And what about growth? Does commercial law help there?
Definitely. For businesses looking to expand, whether through M&A or protecting IP as they scale, commercial law provides that structured, compliant way forward.
So you can grow confidently without hitting unexpected legal walls.
That's the goal. And underlying all of that is simply ensuring compliance.
Just staying on the right side of the law, tax, consumer protection, competition rules.
Yes, it's not just about avoiding trouble. It's about building a sustainable, ethical foundation for the future.
Right, which leads perfectly to the next question. Why actually partner with a commercial law firm? Why not try to handle it internally?
Well, as we've sort of outlined, the legal landscape is complex, and it's always changing.
The CPA, the Companies Act, tax laws, it's a lot to keep track of.
It really is. Trying to navigate that alone, it's risky. Working with a firm like ours ensures you are compliant.
Gives you peace of mind, frees you up to run the business.
Exactly. And then there's dispute resolution. Disputes happen.
Even to the best-run businesses.
Absolutely. Having lawyers who can help with negotiation, mediation, arbitration, or, if it comes to it, litigation.
Can make a huge difference in how smoothly or not that gets resolved.
It's about efficient conflict resolution, protecting your interests throughout.
And we touched on IP protection earlier, too.
Yes, and its value is only increasing. A good commercial lawyer doesn't just help you get the patents or trademarks.
But helps you enforce them, too.
Crucially, yes. Developing strategies to protect those rights if someone infringes on them, safeguarding that competitive edge.
Okay. And finally, the actual structure of the business itself.
Right. How you set up partnership, company, sole proprietor has big implications for tax and legal liability.
So getting advice on the best structure from the start is important.
Very important. We help clients choose the optimal structure for their specific needs and goals, making sure it aligns with South African law and minimizes risk.
So bringing it all together then, commercial law isn't just legal jargon.
Not at all. It's the essential framework for business success and sustainability in South Africa, full stop.
It sets the rules, protects assets, manages risks, ensures compliance.
Precisely. And here at Jonker Vorster Attorneys, that's our commitment, providing that comprehensive strategic support to help businesses navigate it all.
Whether you're just starting out or you're a large, established player facing complex issues.
Our team has the expertise across the board. We really encourage anyone listening to visit our website.
All the contact details are right there.
Yes, find out more about how we can help with your specific commercial law needs.
Absolutely. And, considering everything we've discussed today, maybe reflecting on the need for really well-drafted, tailored commercial contracts.
Like we highlighted in some of our recent insights.
Exactly. That could be a really valuable next step for anyone looking to proactively secure their business's future here in South Africa.